Turf wars and gang wars is nothing new under the sun. These gang wars are usually between the northern and the southern side of town in every inner city in America. While under the curses in the land of our captivity, our people have no sense of direction and will only repeat the same mistakes concerning intertribal warfare, also known today as gang culture. Deuteronomy 28:64, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. This is a direct result of not being under righteous rulership. Remember, during the time of the judges, every man did according to his own will, rather than the will of Yah. Judges chapter 21 and verse 25. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Sort of like what we see today, but in times past, David brought both the northern and the southern together, and a covenant of peace was made. Acts chapter 13 and verse 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. 2 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 4. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying, that the men of Jabesh Gilead were they that buried Saul. 2 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 8. But Abner the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim. Verse 9, and made him king over Gilead, and over the Asherites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all the northern kingdom. So we can already see right here Israel, modern day turf war gang affiliation, right in the scriptures concerning our forefathers. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom conflicts even before Solomon's split. Verse 15, then there arose and went over by number 12 of Benjamin, which pertained to Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and 12 of the servants of David. So now both sides are going to war, right? Okay, let's keep going. 2 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 17. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel before the servants of David. The battle had ended, but Abner survived. And as Abner was returning from the battle where his men were killed, one of David's men named Asahel pursued after him. 2 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 23. Howbeit, he refused to turn aside. Wherefore Abner with the hinder end of the spear he smote him under the fifth rib, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. And it came to pass that as many as came to the place where Asahel fell down and died stood still. And one of these people just so happened to be one of Asahel's three brothers, so we can already get an idea of how this is going to potentially play out, Israel. So let's see what Joab decides to do. So let's go to verse 24. Joab and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down when they were come to the hill of Ammah, that lieth before Giah, by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. So now Joab wants some get back for Abner killing his brother, just like we see today between different gangs and sets throughout every major city in America. It's a never-ending cycle of evil. Verse 26, then Abner called to Joab and said, shall the sword devour forever? Knowest thou not that it will be bitterness in the latter end? How long shall it be then? Art thou bid the people return from following thy brethren? So here we see Abner is even saying the same thing. It will just turn into a never-ending cycle of bloodshed and will cause much spiritual bitterness in the end. Let's get a real-life example of this.
I seen that you were really close to 051 Melly. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's my brother. Forever. I love him to death.
How'd you guys meet? Do you remember?
We grew up together. I'm his shorty.
Okay, so he was older than you.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was he like?
Good personality. Laid back. Funny as hell. Don't believe everything they say about him on the internet. Don't believe that shit.
How'd you hear about him passing away?
I was incarcerated. I got the phone call. They told me about it. I was hurt.
He was a popular dude. He was, he had quite a reputation out here.
Only if you could meet him though. Like, bro got the biggest heart. Like, too many people couldn't get close to him at all. Only if you can meet him. I feel that shit though. Like, when you love someone, when you care for someone, and you lose them, that shit hurt you.
That boy booed up, we gon' shoot him up on photo grade. He was talking like he snapped and we put two up in his face. They not like that, they just talk like that. I dare they mention Fest, I dare they mention Remy. If they mention murder, they gon' die. Bitch, I'm blicked up, they know I'm sticked up. It ain't no catching me, I bet they work for it. I was locked up in them trenches when she thought.
Now, he said in one of his rap lyrics that when he catches up to the person that killed his friend Melly, he gonna die, as well as anyone of the rival gang that has anything bad to say about Melly. And this cycle will only continue to repeat itself. Let's see what the scriptures have to say. 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 12. And Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Whose is this land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee, to bring about all Israel unto thee. Because Abner said in verse 18, For the Lord had spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel out of the hand of the Philistines, and out of the hand of all their enemies. So here we can already see that Abner recognizes the trajectory of Yah's spirit, and is inclined to be on one accord with Yah, by making an attempt to yield to David's authority. Verse 20, So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him, and David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. Verse 21, And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto my lord the king, that they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all thine heart desireth. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. This is the key word here. This changes everything. The moment Abner went away in peace, an agreement was established at that moment in time, which also means another word for covenant. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Okay, now let's go to verse 24. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away? And he is quite gone. The covenant of peace between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom has already been established, but Joab is still holding on to anger and resentment. Let's see what Joab decides to do next. Let's go to verse 26. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messages after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sarah. But David knew it not. Verse 27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate and speak to him quietly, and smote him under the 5th rib, that he died, for the blood of Asahel his brother. In verse 28, And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahweh forever, from the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Verse 39, And I am this day weak, though anointed king, and these men the sons of Zeruiah be too hard for me. The Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. Joab and his entire house inherited curses which ultimately led to death. If he had paid attention to the direction of Yah's spirit, he could have been what's known today in modern terms as a generational curse breaker, but instead his entire house inherited curses and death. We are in a time right now where Yah's spirit is moving upon his people to be more reliant on one another. We have the FBA movement, the wage gap is increasing, and our people are being replaced by the use of immigrant workers. And now what we are starting to see is the beginning stages to re-implement very early minute forms of segregation. Yah is putting the pieces in place to make our people rely more on one another as Jacob's trouble starts to ramp up. In the past, our people came together under a different type of spirit. This is why it never caused Yah to move on our behalf. During the Million Man March, we didn't even know that we were the people of the book. And what has the march accomplished exactly, aside from more broken homes, more interracial marriages, which leads to gentrification in our inner city neighborhoods, and last but not least, increased crime and poverty. But this time, the majority of our people have woken up to the truth, and many of us are teaching and preaching the gospel of repentance, which will cause his spirit to move on our behalf. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. Yahweh is not asking you, he's telling you. All we have to do is pay attention to the times to see everything leading up to this prophecy that is going to come into full effect. He didn't say go march with the heathen. He didn't say go to any of their gatherings. None of that. He said gather with your people. So when we look at the example of Joab, what type of spirit will you be operating in Will it be in alignment with Yahweh's spirit during these end times, leading up to Jacob's trouble? Let's go and observe verse 3. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 3. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Let's look at the definition. Easily opposed upon, submissiveness, patience, long suffering. And of course the opposite is that of arrogance, pride, and ego, which directly correlates with the leaven of the heart. It says here a map shows protests stretching from one end of the coast to the other in multiple spots all throughout the United States. Dozens of spots. And they said they want you, Israel, to join in on their cause. All of this commotion regarding the heathen trying to form these rallies right in the midst of the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread is a spiritual distraction to keep Israel from purging all the necessary leaven out of their hearts. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Hasatan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And they try to use a little catchphrase to make it seem like it's all inclusive. It says, Donald Trump and Elon Musk think this country belongs to them. They're taking everything they can get their hands on and daring the world to stop them. On Saturday, April 5th, we're taken to the streets nationwide to fight back with a clear message. Hands off. Okay, well, let's see what the Most High Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob has to say regarding his generational curse breakers. Psalms chapter 105 and verse 15, saying, Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm.